Hey, so in this video, we're going to go over an infinite geometric series, what the equation is, how we derive the equation, and what it means when a series converges or diverges. So if we have this definition for the equation of a series, a geometric series, I'm going to rewrite it, and I'm going to change the order of these two. So it's going to be t1 times 1 minus r to the n all over 1 minus r. So what I want to do is investigate what happens here. And this is to say that what happens when n is really big and r is trapped between 1 and -1. So what is the magnitude? When the magnitude of r is less than 1? So that means when r is in between here, it's stuck somewhere in between -1 and 1. Well, that means that the limit, so this is as n goes to infinity of r to the power of n, and r is bound by this, it's less, the magnitude of it is less than 1, it will equal 0. So that says when r to the power of a very large number and r is less than, or the magnitude is less than 1, it will go to 0. So if I had the series of an infinite sum, well, that's telling me that that's t1, and this disappears. This goes to 0. So then I have t1 times 1, which is just t1, over 1 minus r. And this is the equation we use when r is bigger than -1 and less than 1. So it just is going to compress things. It's essentially, instead of expanding really quick, it's going to shrink really quick. So now, well, what happens if r is in between this? We say it converges. And it converges to a number. So if t1 is 5 and r is 0.5, then we can see that it's going to converge to 10. So let's do that. Let's say t1 is equal to 5 and r is equal to 1/2. Well, the infinite sum, so the sum of this is going to be 5 over 1 minus 1/2, which is 1 divided by 1/2, so that's 10. So we say it converges when it's in here, but if r is bigger than that, the magnitude of r is greater than 1, it diverges. And that just means it's not going to go to a number. So that would be when r is 5. It's just going to grow incredibly quick. And we can't use this formula. We can only use this formula when r converges, because it's under this strict definition that r in the numerator is going to 0. Yeah, and that's how you do this. This is a little example. These problems aren't very complicated. You just have to understand what's happening, if it's diverging or it's converging.